And Sam Kennedy, the president of the Boston Red Sox, joins us this morning on the Harbor One hotline. Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning, guys. Need a shot of that whiskey after last night.
Well, I may have jinxed. In the Twitch chat, they are suggesting that I jinxed this team because when we had Chaim Bloom on last week, I said that he ought to mix the schedule up because he always ended up coming on after a loss, and you got the day after wins, but. Unfortunately, that is not the situation this morning.
You think that's a coincidence?
Well, I mean, listen, I'm aware that this is the most difficult division in baseball. However, it's June 1st, and this team is in last place, and I'm sure not where you want to be or expected it to be. At what point, from a strategy point of view? And maybe you don't, but do you start to look at making changes on this team?
Yeah, certainly not now. It's an odd thing. I've been around baseball since 1993, and there's a old adage which I think holds true: is you really, you start to look and see what you have around Memorial Day as you get going, and we're obviously a week beyond that. And truly, I know it sounds odd given we are in last place in the division, but the identity of this team is one that still gives us lots of optimism in terms of the offensive performances, the pitching starting to stabilize, the bullpen showing signs of being locked down. It's just we've got to string together series wins. We've had very frustrating losses and sweeps to teams that we feel we should have beaten. So we think the signs are there of a team that can compete and get into the postseason. So that's our 100% focus right now.
We were discussing payroll earlier, and Curtis, refresh me. I think is there $100 million difference between the Reds and the Red Sox?
Yeah. So this is on one site, Spotrac does this calculation where the Red Sox have for the 26-man active roster, it's about $100 million discrepancy between the Red Sox and the Reds.
Is that worrisome to you when you end up losing a couple here to that team?
Well, for sure. You don't want to lose to anybody, but I think it also helps to dispel any notion that we are somehow cheap or not spending. So, look, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
But it's sort of irrelevant. When you lose two games to a team like that, which, you feel like you should win, it's frustrating. But at this level, everybody can beat everybody. It's incredibly competitive in Major League Baseball. There's a lot of parity. And we've seen that spending at the Major League level, the correlation between payroll and wins is not always there. It's how you spend your money. It's how you draft and develop players and how you sign guys from international markets. And we've been beating that drum for 22 years. Talent and wins come from all parts of the baseball operation. We're lucky here that we're able to spend heavily at the major league level. But you need to be elite at all levels of your baseball operation. And that's what we're working towards. And we feel confident that this group is going to start to get hot.
Sam, take us kind of behind the scenes a little bit. How frustrating is it for you guys in the front office to kind of be in this position, right? Like, I almost feel like if you're in the Oakland A's position, you know where you are. You have no chance. And if you're the Orioles or your team that's just kind of so far ahead, Tampa Bay, you feel comfortable. But when you're like right there, you're in it, but you're not out of it, but you're really fighting for a wild card. How difficult is that position to be in? Because you can't really pull the plug, but you still got to stay invested.
Oh yeah. There's no quit here, and I think, Wiggy, it is frustrating when you have difficult losses. I mean, it's what's so amazing about the baseball season, the ups and downs. Here we are. I think we're game over 500, and we're a third of the way through the season, and it's been a grind. Let's be honest, it's been a grind. It's been kind of win one, lose one, albeit in spurts since opening day, and we got to be better than that. And the way you do that is you stabilize your rotation, which I think you could see that coming together. You get guys back who've been injured, and you got to get some contagious offense going, which we've shown signs of, and we'll be okay. But we just got to start by winning series. It's frustrating. We got a series loss here against the Reds, so we got a big weekend against Tampa Bay. We know how potent they are, so it's not going to be easy, but we got to focus on winning series.
Kike Hernandez is leading the league in errors at 11. Is that situation a wait for story, or is there, in your mind, should there be something done there?
Yeah, look, I'm sure Kike is as frustrated as anybody, and that's a discussion and decisions that will be made by Alex Cora and the coaching staff and baseball ops. So hopefully things will stabilize there. And look, this is a proven veteran winning player, so we've got all the faith in the world in Kike Hernandez.
Sam, but saying that you hope that it stabilizes there, you have Cora yesterday saying we're not a good defensive team. So what is the urgency level there when it comes to shortstop and making sure that you guys don't let this get any worse?
Yeah, I think the urgency level is high. Alex Cora knows how to win. He's proven that. He's been a part of championship organizations, and so extreme level of urgency. Thanks to Chaim and his team, we've got depth, we've got reinforcements coming back. But I think what you heard AC was understandable frustration, and he owns that. He's accountable, and we all have to be. So look, we got to play better.
I guess echoing Alex's frustration after the game last night, it just feels like this team has a razor-thin sort of line there where you've given yourself a real added degree of difficulty to succeed. It began in the offseason when you allowed Uvalde to leave and you bring in Kluber. You have a roster where you know that Story's going to be out for the majority of the season, but you figure you can maybe patch it together, and now you're leading the league at errors at shortstop. It's just... it doesn't feel like the team is championship-driven this season. I know the organization has won 4. They've been the best ownership group of my lifetime in Boston. I'm very grateful for the Henry and et al. And Warner and everybody, but it feels like this team this season has to have way too many things go right for the team to be in contention.
Well, look, I mean, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Do you feel like you are championship driven?
Yeah, look, I feel like we have the commitment from our front office. There's a belief in that clubhouse, and we're going to stay moving forward. We're not going to let the detractors get to us. We've got a team that is battling out right now. I think we're 3-7 in our last 10 games, so it's natural to be frustrated in the moment. And, you can opine on what you're seeing. That's baseball. It's enjoyed in the moment, but you don't really understand it until, you look back and see what's happened. So we're going to let others, feel how they feel, but we feel a certain way inside that clubhouse, and we're going to stay positive.
What about a mid-season division switch? Does that ever happen?
Wait, listen, baseball's innovating. There's new rules. You never know what might happen.
I mean, maybe petition the league on that or something. I mean,
that probably would
I'll
work.
let you do that.
All right. Well, I appreciate, as always, that you take the time, and we'll talk to you again soon, and we'll keep the faith, Sam Kennedy.
Thanks, guys. Be well.
Okay.